And welcome once again to another tutorial video. Today we're going to be covering the log files found here in Event Viewer. These can be found under Computer Management, and now the way that I get to Computer Management, there's several ways. The best and most direct way is to just right click on Computer and go to Manage, and this brings up this whole console. Now I've got a couple different logs here. Let's start with Application. This is basically what's going on with the application itself. In this case, the Steam client service had a problem. It was trying to open a particular port or something in the firewall, and it failed. And when it failed, that generated an error, and that error was saved in this log. Now, here's where it gets a little tricky, because we have some system logs, and sometimes, like right here, you see the Steam client service named again. But notice it says that the service itself failed to start. There was an error. In other words, Windows was trying to do something. In this case, Windows was trying to start that service, and that is what failed. Whereas in here, in application, we see, okay, this service is trying to do something, and that action that that service was taking is what failed. So there's a little bit of a difference there. We've got our security log, which hopefully all you see when you look at this is audit success. This basically tracks any kind of logons that you're doing. And especially if you've got multiple users that log on locally, this can be important. I believe also if you're trying to access network resource remotely, if you have like a special user authentication set up for that, you'll see that here. Got our setup log, which is basically features of Windows itself that are being added. Now in this case, it's basically the logs of, as you can see, Windows updates. You see these KB numbers, those are Windows update files. And it tells you a reboot is necessary before that can be officially considered installed. That basically is just saying, hey, it's successful, it's good to go, reboot is necessary. So that's how you can see right there if you have trouble with Windows updates, or you're wondering what's going on, or even which one's installed specifically based on that KB number, you can come here and check that out. And system, like I said, stuff that Windows itself is doing, services that are starting or failed to start, for example, things of that nature. If you find yourself getting blue screens, there's a chance that what's going on could generate something in here. So this is a place to go and check. You'll see the event ID, the time and date that the event was logged. You can look at some details. I mean, it's got the data, what happened in words and bytes. So you got binary going on. There's XML view. So there's a couple different views. The other thing is over here on the right, you see our actions panel. And in this top half, we've essentially got everything that can be done with this particular event that we have highlighted. Whatever event we've selected, these are actions that are specific to only that one event. Whereas we've got this thing here, and these are basically for everything. No, I'm sorry. I've got that backwards. I apologize. This is for everything in the system log right now. If we were to go to application, this would be for everything under application. See, that's why it says application. I can read. These are things that are specific to the actual event that we have. And this is another way that you can look at the event properties. Sometimes that box might not fit your screen just right, or you don't want to drag and rearrange everything to make it fit. This information can be copied and you can paste into like a Word document or something. You can save all of your events. One good thing to do is every so often just go in here and just clear the log. Yep. No, I've actually already cleared it, so I'm just gonna, or saved it rather, so I'm just gonna clear it. Now the great thing is under custom views, you can actually set this up. You see that I have it set to only show critical error and warning events from all administrative logs. So that's across all of these. It's only going to show, basically I'm leaving out this. Everything that's above the level of information, because I'm only interested in basically seeing when something goes wrong. So when you look at it like this, it looks like there's all kinds of stuff going on. I did have some issues. I recently updated my drivers It wasn't even through Windows Update. It was NVIDIA itself was saying, hey, you've got an update. And ever since then, there's a couple of apps and a game or two that just seem to really kind of go a little sideways. The driver kept crashing, but it recovered. There's all kinds of stuff. Honestly, I probably need to clear this out. Um, some of these are errors, and sometimes when there's an error, you might not even notice that anything happened. Not every error means that the system is going to crash and the world's going to end. Sometimes these things go on in the background, and like for instance here, like I was saying, basically my display driver stopped responding, but then it says right here it's successfully recovered. So something like that happens, you may not see anything more than just a little blip. The screen might blink a little, and you're like, well, that was kind of strange. Not even realizing that an error had happened, but I can always come here and see for sure. And that's about it, guys. That is Event Viewer in a nutshell.